Previously on Enews Direct.
You will never defeat the power of a black nation.
Our top stories tonight. Julius Malema issues stern warnings to the Independent Electoral Commission and the ANC. All SA Express flights have been grounded amid safety concerns. This is Enews Direct Weekend Edition. Good evening, I'm Amy McIver.
And I'm Ronald Masinda. You can comment on any of our stories by following us on Facebook and Twitter at Enews Direct.
Or you can check our content on our website, enca.com/direct. The EFF is warning that vote rigging will not be tolerated. During the party's election manifesto launch, Julius Malema accused the IEC of waging a campaign against it. Supporters filled Orlando Stadium to capacity earlier today. The party says its declaration is based on 200 meetings held within Gauteng communities. This as it prepares to contest its first local government elections in August. But Malema says the playing fields must be equal.
In Alexander, the IEC continues to rig elections. We're warning them. We're warning you. You will never defeat the power of a black nation. No one can defeat the power of a black nation. Not even the army can defeat the power of a black nation. No army can defeat a black nation. We defeated apartheid. We will defeat you.
Malema has also addressed the treason case the ANC has opened against him after his statement about taking up arms.
I don't go around beating up people. Neither did I threaten to beat up Zuma in parliament. I only speak the truth to power. That's the only thing we're doing. Why open a treason case against people who speak the truth? What treason is that? Since when is the truth a treason? ANC is led by clowns. That's why they confuse the truth with treason. There's nothing treason here. Let me tell you, you come with violence, we'll respond to you with violence. We're not scared of you. We're not scared, nothing. Let me tell you, South Africa, let me tell you, Africa, we will never start any violence. We will never start any violence. We will never take guns at innocent people. Neither can we take guns to an innocent state. But anyone who comes with violence and think that they can intimidate us with violence, we will defend ourselves.
Malema has also warned the ANC that the country's soldiers are EFF supporters.
This army is an army of our people. Very soon, if this government is not aware, I'm whispering to you, Zuma, wherever you are, those soldiers are going to turn their guns against you. Be warned. Leave office before the soldiers turn their guns on you. The army is not happy. You threaten us with the army. The army is the EFF. All those soldiers are EFF people. They see their hopes in the EFF.
Julius Malema says his party is still committed to the two cardinal pillars of its founding manifesto. That's the expropriation of land and the nationalization of mines without compensation. Malema says 80% of the land belongs to the disadvantaged black people in the country.
We are not chasing the whites away. We are saying to them, you've got too much land. Bring 80% of it to us. We'll show you how land can be used. Don't go away. We want you here in South Africa. We will learn from you. You will learn from us.
In other news, unions attending the country's first ever workers' summit say they're crying out for an independent trade union federation. 50 unions representing millions of workers are taking part in the initiative, spearheaded by expelled COSATU General Secretary Zwelinzima Vavi. They're among others discussing the possibility of forming a new federation. NUMSA, AMCU, Taxi Forum Unions and Solidarity are among those attending. No political parties were invited. Vavi says unions want a regime to partner a trade union movement to uplift the poor.
And let's be honest, today we simply do not have such a government. We have a government that have managed us to the crisis we are talking about today, of unemployment, of youth being robbed of their future, of a government that only have one headlines. And today, we are here to change the headlines from Zuma, Zuma, Gupta, Gupta, Nkandla, Nkandla, watercloth, watercloth. We want new headlines. We want the new headlines, comrades. And the new headlines must be decent work for all of our people. Must be a better education system for all of the people of this country. Must be free health care and a better health care facility for all of our people.
Hundreds of SA Express passengers have been left stranded. All the airline's planes have been grounded following the suspension of its operating license. The Civil Aviation Authority says it's unhappy with the airline's safety standards and has proposed a corrective action plan. The airline is meanwhile giving its full cooperation. Frustrated passengers at Cape Town International Airport say they were informed at the airport that their flights wouldn't take off. Well, it's time to bring out those boots and beanies. Winter is here, in some parts of the country at least. Snow has fallen in the Eastern Cape and the Drakensberg Mountains in KwaZulu-Natal for the first time this year. Lesotho has also been blanketed. In the Western Cape, people have been advised to wrap up as icy cold conditions with rain and snow are expected. A researcher at the University of KwaZulu-Natal has come up with a hair-raising way to improve the quality of soil. The soil science master's student has found human hair can be used as a fertilizer. And Ntwanana Malepfane also believes it could be an effective waste management solution.
Human hair as a fertilizer? The idea may make your hair stand on end, but Ntwanana Malepfane believes it's a goldmine of opportunity.
We're living in a world where it's like this global warming, this climate change, and the population is growing wider. But the space that we're living in is not growing. There's a decline in soil fertility. This was more like wanting to recycle what we have in order to maintain and to sustain the soil fertility.
The 24-year-old used samples of hair from 3 ethnic groups, African, Indian and white. She analyzed them for traces of heavy metals, as well as nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus and potassium. Indian and white hair showed higher contents of both sulfur and nitrogen.
Human hair sometimes is affected by your environment, where you stay. If you stay in mines or in dusty places, yeah, it has an effect. You might have different level of some elements compared to other people. Your livelihood, your hairstyle, what you eat, your diet, your age, your gender.
After incubating human hair for about a month, Malepfane found it released enough nitrogen to grow spinach. But the study has not been without challenges. Malepfane has had to convince the superstitious that the hair they donate won't be used for black magic.
Despite the advantages of the research, Malepfane's project was just a hair's breadth from receiving funding to further it. She believes there's no need to split hairs over the unusualness of the idea, but rather concentrate on its potential benefits. Judith Subin, Pietermaritzburg.
And in news from other parts of the world, rescuers in Nairobi are searching for people feared trapped in the rubble of a multi-story building that's collapsed in heavy rain. Police say at least 14 people were killed, but more than 120 have already been pulled out alive. A number of other people have died elsewhere as the downpours flooded roads, washed away homes and caused landslides. Staying in Kenya, authorities there have destroyed a massive stockpile of ivory and rhino horn. 106 tons of tusks and horns have been burnt. This is meant to send a message to poachers and smugglers that their trade will be stopped. The country wants a total ban on ivory sales. Hundreds of liberal protesters in Germany have tried to block members of a far-right party from entering a conference. Despite the unrest, the meeting has gone ahead as planned, where the alternative Für Deutschland party is expected to rebrand itself as openly anti-Islamic. It wants to ban the burqa and outlaw minarets in Germany. And mourners in Guatemala are burying family members who died when a rubbish dump caved in earlier this week. At least 4 people were killed and dozens are still missing. Some are garbage workers, but many had entered the dump illegally to search for items for resale. Well, for these stories and more, go to enca.com/direct or follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Enews Direct. A cheese festival near Stellenbosch is attracting connoisseurs from around the country. It's now in its 15th year, and if you have a taste for something out of the ordinary, this is the place to find it.
It's every cheese lover's dream. Hundreds of varieties on display at this year's Agri-Expo South African Cheese Festival. Around 30,000 people are expected at the 3-day extravaganza. The festival aims to give cheesemakers the opportunity to showcase their craft.
The Cheese Festival is a platform to market the dairy industry, and that is why we have the value chain here. We have from the milk factory, where they can see basically what agriculture is about, right through to the actual cheeses. And what makes it so interesting is that we have more than 30 tons of cheese on the territory or on the festival ground, so that people can experience the diversity of cheese.
From creamy labne to stinging nettle and chili cheese, and smoked mozzarella that's good enough to take home. They can all be paired with a variety of wines.
This is very, very fun. I'm not going to lie, we're all the way from Potchefstroom, and this is a feast. You can't say it in English, it is a feast. It is amazing. I recommend it for anyone. It is life-changing. Wine, cheese, can't do any better.
The festival at Sandringham near Stellenbosch ends on Monday. Leanne Jansen, Stellenbosch in the Western Cape.
Well, that's your entertainment for tonight. After the break, Joel Guy has your detailed weather report.
Welcome to the Weather Center. On our most recent satellite picture, we are seeing this massive cold front that brought us cloudy, wet and cool weather throughout Saturday across the eastern areas of the Eastern Cape, much of KwaZulu-Natal and parts of eastern South Africa. We also had snowfalls over the northeastern parts of the Eastern Cape and along the Drakensberg Mountains. Otherwise, we had clear skies across the rest of the country. Now, on Sunday, we are going to have a bit of drizzle for the first half of your day over the eastern parts of KwaZulu-Natal. It's going to be partly cloudy with a cooler afternoon temperature for much of northeastern South Africa. Mostly sunny and warmer weather is forecast for the rest of the country, but towards the evening we are going to see some cloud creeping into the southwestern areas of the Western Cape. So we start off Sunday with a bit of drizzle around Richards Bay. It's going to be partly cloudy for the southern parts of KwaZulu-Natal, Durban peaking at just 22 degrees. Below freezing overnight temperatures are forecast for the northernmost areas of the Eastern Cape. It's going to be partly cloudy along the coastal areas with temperatures peaking in the lower 20s. Mostly sunny skies are forecast across much of the Western Cape. It's going to become partly cloudy, however, in the evening along the southwest coastline, including around Cape Town, where temperatures will peak at just 21 degrees. Very cold overnight as well for the southern areas of the Northern Cape. Otherwise, it's going to be mostly sunny with a mild to warm afternoon temperatures in most areas. We are expecting mostly sunny skies for the Free State, but it's going to be very cold overnight for the southern areas. Partly cloudy weather is expected in the northwest for the eastern eastern areas. Temperatures for the province are going to lie mostly in the lower 20s. We are expecting partly cloudy skies across much of Limpopo, Polokwane peaking at just 17 degrees. Similar weather is forecast across the Mpumalanga province. A high of just 20 is expected for Mbombela. It's also going to be partly cloudy in Gauteng with cool afternoon temperatures. Pretoria warming to just 20 degrees. Sunny skies are forecast on Monday for much of the interior. Drizzly weather for Port Elizabeth and George. Then on Tuesday, we are going to see the drizzle spreading into East London.
Recapping tonight's top stories.
We are warning you. You will never defeat the power of a black nation.
Julius Malema issues stern warnings to the Independent Electoral Commission and the ANC. All SA Express flights have been grounded amid safety concerns. Well, that is a wrap from the Enews Direct team.
Up next is Rio.
To share your views, you can send an email to enewsdirect@etv.co.za.
Or chat to us on Twitter and Facebook at Enews Direct.
Till next time, take care and good night.
Catch tonight's episode live, Enews Direct, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. only on E!